All right, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Golazo España. I'm going to go through the front pages of today's Spanish football dailies. I've been to the cafe. I've done about 4 coffees in this morning. I had some tortillas as well while I was compiling the notes for you. So we'll get straight into it. So MARCA, they run with the main headline of Solari puts on the tracksuit. Santiago Solari is confirmed as Real Madrid's interim coach for the Club World Cup. Unless something drastic happens, he will take charge of the tournament while the club waits for Xabi Alonso's arrival. So obviously it's all changed at Real Madrid, and some of the coverage, if you've been following my updates for a while, has said that they wouldn't want Alonso to take over from Ancelotti, be thrown into that tournament, and when it's maybe a bit during that transition thing. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't want him to come straight in and take over at that competition, that FIFA Club World Cup, I think it's called, right? Which is a big money spinner, and they're trying to make this competition very important. The organisers, so it looks like they just want to get that out of the way and then appoint Alonso. Also on the front page of Marca today, Ter Stegen is back in goal after 7 months, returning tonight against Valladolid as Flick rotates the squad ahead of Inter. Rayo Vallecano beat Getafe 1-0, but controversy hit the stadium once again. It talks about today's fixtures, which I'll mention at the end of the video. There's a feature on the box ball system, which that's going to be my chosen feature after I've gone through the front pages. So the box ball system is the way that they're going to change the way that ball boys or ball girls or ball persons or whatever you want to call it are going to be operating potentially in Spanish football. Could affect the English Premier League at some point. I think it's very, very interesting, and I've got an article for you after I've gone through this. So this is talking about the box ball system. There's mentions of tennis and basketball. I think we'll skip that. So anyway, not a great deal, but the main thing, of course, is about Solari. We'll take a look now at the front page of AS, and they're focusing on Real Madrid. Obviously they've got this injury crisis at the moment, and they're having to turn to the youngsters, as they go into the last few weeks of the campaign. And the headline is "The Time for La Fabrica." Madrid's injury crisis has opened the door for several youth players to finish the season with the senior team. Lorenzo Aguado, Chema, I think that must be pronounced, Jacobo Ramon, and Yusi, you know what I'm like with pronunciations, are all in contention, and some might even feature at the Club World Cup. Also highlighted on the front page is that Ter Stegen returning for Barca for the first time since September. Atletico's Macho Alves is framed as a fight for professionalism and pride. Barca's EuroLeague win over Monaco is covered. This is going to be the other stuff that we're not interested in. Yeah, just different sports there. We don't need to know about that. So the main thing here, of course, is they're turning to the kids here, La Fabrica, to try and shore up the defence and whatnot at Real Madrid. So their forthcoming fixtures are going to be very interesting to see how they perform. So I'll be keeping an eye on that for you guys. And obviously, again, the mention of Ter Stegen returning to Barca. And here we are. What have we got here on the front page of Sport, which is a pro-Barcelona publication, of course, is Ter Stegen returns. He's been out for 223 days and will start tonight against Valladolid. Flick is expected to rotate heavily to rest key players ahead of the Champions League semi-final. Also mentioned on the front page, Pep Guardiola has announced he's planning to take a break at the end of the season. And there is a quote from him of saying, "I'm going to take a rest. Inzaghi is resting 9 starters for Inter's game today, and they also touch on the Barca basketball team." Finally, Mundo Deportivo, which of course is another pro-Barcelona publication. They go with Ter Stegen and rotations as the headline here. The German keeper is back in action after 7 months out, and Flick will rest multiple starters to keep them fresh for Inter. Other stories on the front page include Barca must beat Valladolid, who are already relegated, in order to approach El Clasico with momentum. There's also coverage regarding Alaves versus Atletico, with Alaves fighting for survival. And then there's women's water polo, Barca's basketball team, and handball as well. Now, what I want to speak to you about is, before I read this article to you, no, let's do the article and then I'll finish with the fixtures. So there's an article and it's talking about La Liga's ball boy revolution. And this could affect the English Premier League and other leagues as well. Basically, what's changing in Spanish football. And I'm not going to read the article to you, but I've summarized it to hopefully make it a little bit more easier for you. La Liga is considering a radical change to the way balls are handled during matches. The new system, called Box Ball System, BBS, would place 18 ball stations around the pitch, each with a ball ready to go. These stations would be digitally controlled and monitored in real time, eliminating time wasting and ensuring fast restarts. The goal? To add 3 to 4 extra minutes of actual playing time per match. Now, traditional ball boys, or ball girls as well, often academy kids, have to follow club orders in, slowing down, returning the ball and things like that. They would be replaced by trained neutral specialists controlled by the competition organisers and not the clubs. The plan includes a training camp for these new retrievers, teaching them to follow strict rules and avoid tricks or bias. The system's already had successful tests, including in the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia and trials with PSG. Referees and governing bodies support the idea, seeing it as a way to reduce chaos and increase fairness. And of course, there's a commercial twist. Each box would feature sponsor branding with estimated exposure worth over 6.6 million euros a season. What's that going to be? About £6 million or something like that. Simply put, this could be the end of time-wasting ball boy antics and the start of a slicker, fairer matchday experience. Now, I really would welcome your feedback on that one, guys. Have you got an opinion on that? Do you think, whatever football league you follow, whether it's La Liga or Premier League or whatever, do you think this is a good idea? Do you like the idea of these things scattered around? Is it more commercialism? Is that what it's about? Is it just about the money, really? What do you think? I don't know. You see, sometimes when you have these incidents where a team's losing or maybe drawing and need a win, basically need to score, and the ball goes out and the attacking team that needs to score, they rush to get the ball, and the ball boys, when you see the players sometimes shove the kids out of the way, and the fans are like, hey, I like all that. See, I like all the drama and controversy. And when you shore up all these little exploitations and things that can flare incidents, it gets a little bit naff and it becomes too robotic for me. Do you know what I mean? Like some of the, the VAR, I'm not a fan of it anyway. I just like the old school, referee making a mistake. And if you think about it, technology, whereas when we have incidents where, the ball crossed the line, no, it didn't, yes, it did. It creates like a payback, doesn't it? You can come up against that team 10 years later and remember that incident where we was robbed, and you want to batter them for it. It's like one of those things in football that you never forget. And when they bring in all these things to prevent all of that, you're taking away, the controversy and that, which is you win some, you lose some. And when you got VAR, no one's going to go 10 years down the line, down the road or whatever. No one's going to go, do you remember that VAR decision 10 years ago? But they'll always remember them, when I'm telling you it was over the line. No, it wasn't. Yes, it fucking was. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I kind of miss all that, to be honest with you. So finally, that was just my featured coverage for you, featured article today that I wanted to mention to you. So La Liga fixtures today, we've got Alaves hosting Atletico, Villarreal hosting Osasuna, Las Palmas versus Valencia, Valladolid hosting Barcelona. And that, my friends, is today's roundup of what is in the Spanish football dailies today. By all means, you can leave me, a comment if you've got a question about anything over here, and I will let you know. Please, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment, share the video. I'm trying to, grow this channel, to be honest with you. I want to get people that are interested in this channel on here. You can't buy me a coffee or anything like that on here, you know, because it's not monetized in any way. But there is a link in the video description if you want to see this channel succeed and you want to buy me a coffee for when I go to the cafe in the morning. All right, guys. So I'll leave it with you. Let me know if you've got any thoughts, especially about this new ball boy, proposals, if you like. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, you can follow Golazo España on X and on Facebook as well. Can't remember what the name is on there. It wasn't available. But if you look in the video description of this video, you will find important information and links where you can connect with me.